we basically, there's a few things we do with numbers, but almost always we either combine them or we separate them. That's about it. We can compare them, we can order them, we can find opposites, but almost everything is combining or separating. And these guys are inverses of each other. That means opposite. So if we combine something, if we want to undo what we combined, then we separate it out again. Or if we separate into groups, but then let's say we're at a field trip and we separate into groups, then we to undo that, we get together, we combine all back together again. Okay? When we combine uneven groups, those are, we add. If we combine, let's say 2 and 7. 2 and 7 are not the same size groups, right? 2 and 7, different size groups. When they're different size groups, if they're uneven groups, we add. If we are combining, if we're separating uneven groups, then we subtract. How do we use this? We use these inverse operations to create a fact family. 4 equations that have the same value, they mean the same thing, they just look differently. They have a different form. They have a different form. So what we do is we take one of these equations and we manipulate one of them. We change one around to get another of a similar operation, and then we invert. We do the inverse operation. And we do this with multiplication too. I'm going to go through this really, really fast. Hopefully you take a screenshot for your notes. We start with an equation. This one's starting with multiplication. The first thing I do is switch the parts. I have part times part equals whole. Let's switch the parts. Part times part equals whole. I just changed those positions. That's the first two. I end with the total. For the next part of my fact family, we're going to end with the total. Then we're going to do the inverse operation. Since we're combining even groups, we're going to separate even groups. Start with the total, divide, inverse operation and multiplication is division. 2, that's a part, equals the other part, which is 4. And the last thing we do is 8, start with the total, divided by, we switch these two parts. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. That gives us our whole thing. So you see how it works with both addition and multiplication. Addition, subtraction, inverse, multiplication, division, inverse.